Hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of our Sinterklaas and Dutch holiday traditions celebration. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Sinterklaas and how important he is to the Dutch children. He comes from Spain to Holland about mid-November, and once there, he and his white horse Amerigo travel towns and villages and homes to visit the people that live there. And children leave their shoes out by the fireplace or sometimes by the front door in the hopes that Sinterklaas will leave a little treat for them. Did you see the hay and carrots that were in one of our shoes? That was for Amerigo. Well, the Brower and Mesier children who lived here many, many years ago must have been so excited for Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas for them is like Santa Claus for us. So let's find out a little bit more about the Dutch Sinterklaas traditions. They came over from Holland when people came over to the New World. And in our area, they came to New Netherland, which is now New York City. And as people moved up the Hudson River from that part, from New York City, they brought their traditions with them. And that's how Sinterklaas was celebrated here in the house. When we were over in the parlor, you saw that the tree was very simply decorated. It was just candles and cookies and homemade ornaments. But let's take a look at our mantle. Our mantle is also very simple, but very beautiful. We brought nature inside. We have greenery, and we have berries, and pine cones, and fruit, and even deer antlers. Anything that was found outside would make beautiful decorations, especially in the wintertime when things were gray and dark. And I have something special up here too. That might be a nice little craft idea for you to do with a grown-up. And that is a clove-studded orange. Oranges, remember, remind us of Sinterklaas because Sinterklaas came from Spain. And spices that we're going to learn a little bit more about are also representative of the Dutch. And in this craft, you can decorate an orange. An adult might need to help you make the little holes for the patterns that you want. It makes putting these hard cloves in a little bit easier, but you can decorate the orange any way you would like. And you can have it as a table decoration or up on the mantle. It makes a lovely smelling Christmassy ornament for you and your family to enjoy. So let's talk a little bit now about the important stuff, the food, because everybody loves food and food is part of a celebration. Back in the long ago when the Browers and Mesiers lived here, they probably had game, things like venison, which is deer, or wild boar or duck, but it was always a roast, and nuts and fruits and a very simple dinner. They might have even had coleslaw. Did you know that coleslaw is Dutch? It is. The Dutch brought a lot of foods with them when they came over to the New World, but their coleslaw was not cold and served with mayonnaise. Their coleslaw was warm. And probably had a little butter or maybe vinegar and some spices in there. The celebration of Sinterklaas really occurs on Sinterklaasavond, which is always December 5th. St. Nicholas Day, the day of St. Nicholas, or known as Sinterklaas, is always December 6th. So in the evening of December 5th, Sinterklaasavond, the family would gather and have their celebration meal. Even to this day, it's a very big family event. And it's a day of happiness and presents. Gift giving really occurred on Sinterklaas and not so much on Christmas. Christmas was more of a religious holiday for them. So the gift giving, the fun, the songs, the laughter really all occurs on Sinterklaasavond. So they would have, again, a roast, a simple dinner, but the most important thing for Sinterklaas celebration are the traditional sweets. Because it's a celebration, you're going to have sweet things. So here on our table, you'll see that we have some Dutch homes. They're Dutch canal houses that give us a festive feel for the Dutch. And again, we have some natural decorations, and we have the best part of it, which are the cookies and the sweets. And these are all very traditional. It wouldn't be Sinterklaas without a chocolate S. Children would always receive in their shoes either a chocolate S or a letter that represents their first name. And in our shoes, we put an S for Sinterklaas, and we have a little chocolate Sinterklaas man right behind our shoes. And don't forget the carrot and the hay for Amerigo. Another traditional food that the Dutch brought over, surprisingly, are waffles. When we look at the ship registers for people who came over to this country from Holland, one of the things that almost every single family brought with them was their waffle maker. And these cookies are called stroopwafel. And they are very, very thin waffle cookies, one on the top and one on the bottom. And in the middle is a gooey caramel. And the Dutch like to heat that up on a cup of tea so that the caramel becomes even more gooey. And these you might recognize. They're called windmill cookies for us, but in Dutch they're called speculoos. And they're a spice cookie. And spices are very, very important to the Dutch. Long ago in the 1600s, there was a company called the Dutch West Indies Trading Company, and they went to the Far East and brought back all sorts of spices to Europe and to Holland. And I have some of them right here. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of cinnamon and cloves and nutmeg, but this is what they really look like here. It's cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. And other spices that are important in these cookies, and in these cookies over here called peppernoten, would also be ginger. And spices, long ago when they were introduced to Europe, helped mask the taste of food because there was not a lot of refrigeration. So the spices hid that little bit of an off taste. And they also added interest to the food. And the Dutch love their spices. And they're in these kind of cookies. And these cookies are absolutely traditional for Sinterklaas. They're called peppernoten. And they're little hard cooking nuts. They're hard as nuts. And they're very spicy because they have a mixture of all of these ground spices in them. And they only are available during Sinterklaas time. And when Sinterklaas visits towns and sometimes even homes, Sinterklaas and his helpers might throw some peppernoten mixed with hard candies to the children. Just like sometimes during parades here, you might have candies thrown at you if you're watching a parade from the people who are in the parade. It's the same thing with these. They're tossed out to the children with hard candies. And these speculoos cookies, they're also a mixture of spices, and they are very traditional for Sinterklaas time. They're made by either using a wooden cookie press to make the shape in the cookie, or sometimes you can use a roller. And you see this is a cookie roller that has different shapes cut into it. And as you press that into the dough, you'll get the print that is carved into the wood into the dough. So there you have some very traditional cookies that were part of the Sinterklaas celebration. After the meal, and while people were munching on their cookies, songs were very important for Sinterklaas. Children would sing songs constantly, and on our Sinterklaas page on our website, you'll find a link to one of the songs called Sinterklaas Bonne Bonne Bonne, and it's in Dutch, but it's very simple to learn, and it's a very lively, festive song that children in Holland sing to this day to welcome Sinterklaas. So the evening is full of laughter and full of song. The Dutch people are very fun-loving people. And in their gift giving, they're very clever because, as I said, that Sinterklaas is the time for giving gifts. And it's not so much what the gift is and how expensive the gift is. It's how clever the gift is that the Dutch value. So sometimes people like to have a little bit of fun with their gift giving, and they might disguise, they might hide their gifts. They might have a small gift put in a giant box, and people will have to go through layers and layers of boxes to get to the small little gift. A lot of joking and a lot of fun. Sometimes people have to follow riddles to find their gift. And it's all in good-natured fun. And one of the really unique things about the Sinterklaas celebration, even now in Dutch homes, is rhyming, and a little rhyme letter or a little rhyme note that's given to the gift recipient from someone. And in a very nice, good-natured way, these rhymes can either talk about the past year and something that someone did really well, or more likely, it might be a little hint about what someone can do to improve themselves and to be a little bit better in the coming year. But it's all done in a very funny, humorous, good-natured way, and that's part of the celebration. And our little rhyme to you is this. Sinterklaas was glad to hear that you've been very good this year. We wish you a happy year ahead and hope to see you here at the Mesier Homestead. So I have another little surprise for you, and that is our third part of this program is going to be a story time, and that's going to take place on Sinterklaas Day, St. Nicholas Day, this coming Sunday. Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just where you saw this video, there's going to be a special story time, and it is a book about Sinterklaas that was written by an author named Kathy Dodson, and she's from this area, and the parade, the annual Sinterklaas parade up in Rhinebeck, which is not very far from here, was the inspiration for her story. And it's all about Sinterklaas finding his way home and encountering some of the people and the creatures that you meet up at the parade in Rhinebeck. So I hope you'll tune back in, and I hope that you might take a few aspects of this celebration and maybe incorporate it into your own Christmas, or always remember that December 6th is St. Nicholas Day, is Sinterklaas Day. And it doesn't matter what day of the week it falls on, that's Sinterklaas Day. And we hope to see you sometime soon here at the Mesier Homestead.